Good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful Saturday morning. I'm at Bathurst Street and Dupont, and I am walking westbound along Dupont. I hope everybody's doing well. It is a gorgeous Saturday morning, the third week of March. Spring has originally, spring has officially arrived. Although you'd never know it by yesterday's snowfall and all the snow around me, as you can see, but it's already melting. It is -3, but it was coming down pretty good yesterday. I think it started around noon, and it was still snowing when we went to bed. And I hope you're all doing well. It is so gorgeous. I could hardly wait to get out today. I was a bit of a couch potato yesterday, so I needed to definitely get out today. I'm happy to do so. I'm meeting my friend Catherine, and we're trying out a new cafe. At least it's new to me. I think it actually might be new to Toronto, fairly new. I think it opened up in November of 2023. Now I could be wrong, but I think that's what I read. It was a while ago that I read about this new cafe. I think it's called Rooms on Dupont. And I think it's 915 Dupont or 914 Dupont. Anyhow, I'll get to it. So I did overdress this morning because initially when I woke up, which was early, I looked at the temperature and it said it was -7. I thought, well, okay, I'm going to have to really dress up well for my walk this morning. From home to the cafe, it said it would be an hour and 20 minutes. I'm at Palmerston right now. So I think this should be about the last 20 minutes or so of my walk. So I thought I would invite you to come along with me. And what can I tell you about this restaurant? Yeah, it's 915 Dupont in Dovercourt Village. And it says apparently it's a hidden gem within a warehouse on an industrial stretch of Dupont. Now, I think I know this building because probably 25 years ago, David and I went to that building. I think it was on the second floor because we were doing the first renovation on our home, or a renovation on our home. I think it might have been the second renovation. Anyway, we were looking for, I think, a new door, maybe, or I think it was a door. Anyhow, we went there and it was a huge carpentry shop. And, you could smell all that fresh cut wood. Anyhow, that was so long ago. And I'm pretty sure this cafe is either beside, near, or in that same industrial building. And every time I come down Dupont and go by that building, I think of the time that David and I went there many, many years ago. And it says that it is a cafe by day, bar by night. And it has a Japanese Indian influence, I think, in its cuisine. I think it's pretty cash. But anyhow, it's worth checking out. It's so nice. Clear skies. Angle up. You can see how blue and clear these skies are. I have to apologize for one of my last videos, if not a few of my videos. My camera angle was out of whack. Either I accidentally moved it or I deliberately moved it but then forgot to realign it. So apologies for that level of incompetence. Now here is a cafe and bakery. Bakery. I have such a sweet tooth. Both David and I have a sweet tooth, and we have family coming to stay with us next week. And so, I bought dessert that we were going to save for them. They were pecan butter tarts. Unfortunately, it's one of our, David and mine, favorite desserts, and they're long since gone. It was a pack of like 24, and I bought them, I think, a week and a half ago. Anyhow, totally gone. So I've got to do another Costco run, pick up another batch and a few other goodies for our guests, and then after they leave, David and I are going to go to Niagara Falls, see what we can catch of the eclipse that takes place on the, I think it's the 8th, either the 7th or 8th of April. We have our the glasses that you need to wear, those special eclipse sunglasses. We've got those. So we'll be spending the night. I think it's either Saturday night or Sunday night, and then view the eclipse. It's supposed to come in around 2-ish in the afternoon. Looking forward to that. And what else? Oh, yeah, I wanted to tell you guys about a movie David and I watched. It is called One Life, starring Anthony Hopkins in the lead role as Sir Nicholas, and Helen Bonham Carter as his mother. And I thought the acting was excellent. Sometimes I don't always enjoy Anthony Hopkins, but and I'm sure I'm the minority. But in this role, he was pretty fabulous. Where are we right now? We are in Christie. So this movie, One Life, it was a real tearjerker. I mean, I can cry at sad movies, but this was it was sad but heartwarming. And this movie, both David and I at least was sobbing. I know David was tearing for sure. And okay, moving on, just to tell you a little bit more about the movie. It is a biographical drama based on Sir Nicholas Winton, a British humanitarian. And it's at the beginning of World War II. This is when this takes place for the most part. So there sort of flashes back to World War II, and then not to present day, I think, but it's well after the war. So it kind of, goes back and forth. And I had never heard about this story before. I had heard about Schindler's List. I think we all probably have, where there was sneaking or getting, during the Second World War, getting the Jewish people out of the grips of the Nazis. And that was a fabulous story. It starred Liam Neeson in the role of Schindler, and I think that was maybe early 2000s, or could have even been the 90s. I can't remember when that movie came out, but that was a pretty phenomenal movie as well. Anyhow, this is sort of on the same premise, but this is more specific to getting Jewish children out of wartime Germany back in the Second World War. And it took place primarily, I think, in Czechoslovakia. And Sir Nicholas Winton is a British citizen, whereby he was a humanitarian, but I think he worked as a stockbroker or a banker in Britain, but then would go during this particular event. He was going to Czechoslovakia to take Jewish children to safety. So of course at that time there were a lot of displaced people, and he went there initially to help and support and the like help bring food, that kind of thing. But then he was so overwhelmed and overcome by these children that were starving, and their parents were taken away and they were left to fend for themselves, many of them. Yikes. Yikes, that's always concerning. But our police force to the rescue. Anyway, he ended up making it his mission to help as many children into the UK before Hitler invaded. He recruited hundreds and hundreds of thousands of British foster families to take in these Jewish children until they could safely be reunited with their family. And so many of these children went to the UK for that period of time. I think it was over the whole period of time from 39 to 45, from 1939 to 1945, because that's the only time when it was safe, was when the war ended in 45. And he literally saved hundreds of thousands of Jewish children during that time. And apparently there is a book, by the way, on this. I think it is called One Life. So if you're more interested in reading about the book, or reading a book, you probably could get it to the library, I suspect. Which, by the way, the library is pretty much up and running, thank goodness. I'm walking against the light. Don't tell anyone. And because I pretty much get all my books in the library, so I was able to pick up my first book since the cyber attack in October 2023. And I was able to pick up my first book. So, and I have another one in transit, so that's great news. Anyway, just to continue on about the movie. So what Sir Winton did was he kept a book, or like an encyclopedia, with a photo of every single child that he was helping to find a foster home or foster family for. He had a very detailed record of every single child he helped escape to a safe home. This was so emotional because my mom, both my parents, but my mom, I remember her telling me about being an Italian girl living in the very north of Italy. And when the war came around, she was born in 29, so this started in 39. She started noticing the Germans coming into town, I think, 1940, and so up to wherever, 45. And they used to recruit, these little village girls like my mother, or small town girls like my mother, to sew darn socks for the German soldiers. And she remembers the German soldiers marching into her town or her city of Gorizia, Italy, and everybody being fearful. And so this little Italian girl has been imprinted with the horror of the intimidation factor the wartime Nazi Germans had on certainly her city and her. This was an amazingly beautiful story. As I mentioned, I'd never heard of it before, and I'd never heard of Sir Nicholas. And in this movie, there are some of the real people that were involved in this film, so some of the foster children that he actually helped save. And the film, near the end, is probably one of the most emotional parts of this film. And that's when I really, let the waterworks go. I think it's important to watch. If anything, it adds to your knowledge of what occurred during that time of the war. Although it can be a hard watch, it is a beautiful film, and it tells a beautiful story of how kind and impactful the will of one person can be. So he helped all these kids, but he had a team. It's pretty much impossible for one person to do it all without having support. Right now we are at Dupont and Ossiington. Anyhow, if you guys are interested, that might be a good film. You might want to watch it. I'm very interested to watch any films related to the Second World War, because I heard a lot about it from my mom, being that she was living in Europe and Italy at that time. And I hear stories, and I remember her empathy for the Jewish population, and I remember her telling me about the Holocaust, and her tell me stories, and we used to watch films. There was also a movie starring Meryl Streep called Holocaust. I think it came out maybe in 1977 or around that time. That was also a good movie. Very good. Anyhow, folks, I think I am near where I should be. Let me just check the time. Yeah, it's almost noon. I'm meeting Catherine at noon. Now, this is the building right here that David and I went to. And I think we parked down this alley, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere. Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, Rooms Coffee. So here we are, folks. I'm going to go inside and hopefully meet up with Catherine. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're all doing well, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. This is Boomer Girl Walking, signing off.